Lost my progress. Okay, so I've noticed a couple posts popping up over the past week or so of people losing progress. So at the very least, I wanted to dive in, see what was going on. I know there's a couple reasons why this could be possible, but I just kind of want to break down some of these situations to see if it helps any of you, or at the very least, we can, keep an eye on it, understand what's happening, and in the future, be more careful with your save data, or however this is happening. So yeah, let's go through a couple of these posts. Let's go through some comments. Let's see what's happening. Let me know in the comments if you've lost progress. So far though, I've seen a couple comments about performance, and I haven't seen too much. I haven't seen too many discussions about performance, but I'll probably take a look into that soon as well. But essentially, losing your progress kind of, that could also hinder your performance as well if you sign into the game and your character's now level 1. So, alright, let's see exactly what's going on here. After patch 5, I had a big disconnect because my provider had maintenance. When I got my internet back, I checked back into Space Marines 2 and found that all of my classes lost their levels. But my weapons and my colors and chapter unlocks were untouched by this? Wait, whoa, that's weird. Did anyone else encounter this after the latest patch? And if so, does anyone know a solution to the level reset? Already tried validating the game data and switched to other game modes. So, I'll just throw this out there. First of all, I want to say this is bad, and hopefully the devs are aware of this. Even though they do seem to be getting some sort of communication with this issue, which we will go over in a little bit. But I just want to point out that potentially, can you save your save data? Like, for example, on PS5, if I save my data to the cloud or whatever, it doesn't, can that potentially fix this issue? And if not, then that's bad. That's bad. Because I know in Elden Ring you could save your data and essentially transfer that to whatever you want. But this seems like this is weird because some of the stuff is server side, isn't it? And judging by how he lost the levels of his class, but my weapons and my colors and chapters unlocks were untouched by this. Like, that's weird. And also, does that mean you still have your, the weapons in PvP that you have to unlock by levels? But I don't know. For whatever it is, this person had internet connection, obviously, and then, it went down because of maintenance. So that's really dangerous, man. You never know when your internet's gonna go out, and if you're gonna lose your progress over it, that's not a good look. Hopefully the devs see this. This is another reason why I want to make this video, because potentially if this issue becomes, bigger, then more people are going to be drawn to discussing it and hopefully, getting an ear to the devs about it, or however you say that. Hopefully the devs get their ear to the issue and understand what's happening and have a fix for it. But let's see if there's any temporary fixes. Also, let's go over some more posts to see what's going on. This is from the 5.1 hotfix. Does this mean it restores progression of some players who lost it due to using mods? So this is a different issue with the same result, where people are losing their save data because they've had probably a save file that heavily was influenced by mods. So yeah, it says restored progression for modded version of the game. Warning pop-up will still appear and say otherwise, but progression should be saved nonetheless. So it does seem like the devs are aware of the issue of people losing their save data. However, this is definitely clearly specific for modded playthroughs. And the other post was about disconnection. And I know offline saving has its own, basically its own area. Like, offline save, you can't, at least I'm pretty sure, if you play offline, obviously you can't, play online, right? But I'm pretty sure you can't save a bulk of the data, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I want to make sure. This is another reason why I want to make this video, just to see if, you guys have any information on this. But I know I was playing Operations offline before, and I was able to save my data, and then I got PlayStation Plus or whatever to get online, which is crazy. And, yeah, I brought that same character into Operations, same level, so I don't know. Essentially, none of this really happened to me, but I never had a faulty disconnect or anything, so I don't know. Let's read into some comments to see what we can find out. I lost all of my armor and weapon progression, but my perk trees are still there. I messaged customer support, no response, deleted the game until they fix it. I'm literally starting from zero again. Yeah, I mean, this is a fine response. This is one of those problems where it's like, dude, if you need to go negatively review the game for it, go ahead. You know what I mean? Because like your review actually goes a long way because you actually lost progress in this game, and this is actually an issue that needs to be addressed. And we genuinely have to see how many people are being affected by this. But a no response from customer support is not something that I've seen. Normally, customer support does respond. Now, how much help they offer, we will get down to that. But, yeah, like if you lost your progress, I understand the frustration. And yeah, if you just can't wrap your head around playing the game because you had progression, then yeah, no, that definitely sucks. Now, what I've done. So mainly on PC, I played PvP, and I only have like a couple classes level for operations. I do have a maxed out tactical for PC, which is nice. So I'm ready for horde mode if that ever, if that's relevant in that area. Regardless, I've also played the game on PS5, and I know some people told me that I could transfer saves and stuff, but seeing some of these issues, I'm glad I didn't. I started from ground zero on PS5, and I had a good time because I was playing other classes that I wasn't playing on PC. I was also doing mainly operations. I think I'm like not even level 10 on PvP for my PlayStation at the moment. But regardless, I am someone who started from ground zero on PS5, and I still had a good time. But again, I was playing different classes, and that said, if either my PC for whatever reason or my PS5 for whatever reason loses progress, that would definitely be disheartening. I gotta be honest. Like, it's one thing to start up a new game because you want to, but when you like kind of have to because your game just got corrupted, that's bad. That's definitely bad. Yeah, if this happened to you, definitely message customer support, regardless of what this comment says, because they definitely need to hear about it. Basically, update reset me to level 1. For anyone that's curious, for a follow-up to my previous post that has had their progress wiped by the latest game patch, the Saber team confirmed that they're unable to restore lost levels and experience. Best of luck, I guess. Yeah, here we have an email from Saber support. It says, unfortunately, at the moment, we cannot restore levels/experience, but we can restore the in-game currencies. To avoid misunderstanding, please also let us know the approximate amount of currencies that you spent on class perks and other upgrades lost due to the issue. Yeah, you should just max them out. You're gonna get a clean 900 coins for that. Here's the thing, dude. At least they are responding to this issue, so they do have it, they have it organized. Well, I don't know about organized, but they have it detailed down, basically, that this is a problem people are having. What I think is kind of a struggle is understanding that some of this stuff is due likely because of the modded, basically the modded restrictions at the moment. So if you've had a save that's been heavily altered by mods, like, I'm not surprised this happened. This is kind of this can happen with mods. Like, modding can be very, very risky. I like mods for the most part, but I've had a few bad experiences with mods that I feel like modders simply just don't have the resources to essentially be, prepared for stuff like this. Like, do you think anyone who were making Space Marines 2 mods, do you think any of them mentioned, hey, you might lose progress by the time the new patch, restricts modding? Probably not, dude. And frankly, like, you have to understand modding your game is going to be a risk. That is a risk you are taking, that you are putting yourself, like, you're basically putting yourself in the way of, something unforeseen happening when you mod your game. So you got to be careful. I like modding, but I think a lot of people kind of look at it with rose-tinted glasses because of the way they didn't like the game handling something that they wanted, to be done better, and that's fine. And look, I like the fact that we're going to have a lot of cool mods coming out with this game, but a problem like this is something that modders just can't, they just can't predict. So it's really hard to just kind of put your faith into the fact that, hey, I leveled up from 1 to 20 using a Thunderhammer Bulwark, but when I signed back into the game, it looks like all my progress is gone. What happened? It's like, dude, what did you think? Did you think that just completely modding the game without any, without any foresight or any sort of, anyone keeping an eye on what's actually happening. Like this stuff is not, what is it? It's not polished. Yeah, sorry. None of these mods are polished or have any sort. Well, they're good mods. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying, like, as far as files, as far as like communication with Saber, how this is happening, like as far as just overall compatibility. Some of that stuff is out of the the pay grade for some of these modders. As talented as they are, they can't they can't predict stuff like this happening. And again, just putting the warning out there, if you're modding your game, stuff like this can happen. Man, I had a mod for Sekiro where it like makes your like sword like the moonlight. Well, there was an update, and then when I went back onto Sekiro, like my PC was basically roaring. Like it was not ready for that patch for whatever reason. And my PC was hotter than when I ran Space Marines 2 on launch. It was very dangerous. So yeah, some of these risks with mods can potentially, end up like this. So just be careful. And yeah, modders need to be more vocal about that sort of thing. They have to be more vocal about, like, hey, if you're modding your game, I'm not responsible for, Saber coming down and, restricting mod access because it is ruining other players, it's ruining other players' game files also. Because if you queue up with a guy who's modding, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's essentially why they started restricting mod access, is because other people's who weren't modding were getting ruined saves as well. So I don't know. Like, this situation is frustrating because I just don't think enough people really talk about the risk of mods nowadays. Everyone's like, oh, we're gonna mod the game, it's gonna be so much better, and nothing wrong is going to happen, even though the guys who are getting paid who are absolutely getting paid to make video games also have like problems. And not only that, they have more resources to deal with these problems. Even they are struggling with some of these problems. There's no way just a small team of modders can just absolutely polish a mod where no issues like this are gonna happen. So I don't know, I just wanted to talk about that real quick, because I genuinely don't think this conversation is had. Like, I genuinely don't think enough people are talking about this as far as like the broader scope of mods. Everyone just has it in their head that it's like Bethesda modding and it's like super easy. It's like, dude, modding other games can be very risky, man. You gotta be careful. This should not be happening nearly 4 months post-launch while they're pushing new content. Hold the content, fix these game-ruining, studio-tarnishing bugs for Emperor's sake. Okay, well. Here's the thing. There's a lot going on in this comment. I think somebody has a good response to this. I'm just gonna go directly to that. But I think these are two different teams that you're kind of referring to. New content and then fixing bugs, I'm pretty sure, are two different teams as far as the studio goes. But yeah, somebody has a nice response to this. Let's go right down to that. The creation of new content isn't taken away from the devs attempting to fix these bugs. Once the devs are aware of the bugs, it is prioritized from 1 through 9. 1 being fix it ASAP, 9 being you have literally nothing else to do. It is then assigned to a dev to fix. As for why people have been experiencing this particular bug for months, it's entirely possible they don't know what's causing it, in which case it wouldn't have even been prioritized yet. So if that's the case, that's okay. So like, you got me in the first half. That whole first half was true and it makes sense, but this last half of this comment is very worrying. But regardless, this is why we're making this video, because we essentially need to gather up a bunch of experiences with this bug, or even tally how many people are experiencing a bug like this, and just essentially prioritize it ourselves if this is something that has been happening to a lot of people. I have sympathy for the people who lost their progress because of the patch. I have even more sympathy for the people who lost their progress because of the internet going down. But if you heavily modded your game, I just ranted about it. I'm not going to rant about it again. If you heavily modded your game, you are putting your save files at risk to things like this. And it's, again, something that should be highlighted with modders. It should be highlighted with Saber. It should be talked about, between all of us. So, yes. But yeah, regardless, this is the way we are just going to cover it for now. I'm going to try to find one more experience with this mod, or no, sorry, one more experience with this bug, and see what we can find out. This happened to me too, or so I thought. Anyway, I went to the in-game console, switched the game to campaign mode, then to PvP, and then finally PvE again. All of my progress, levels, perks, trees were restored along with the armors. Hope this helped. If not, may the Emperor's light guide you, brother. That's, I don't know, that's interesting. I just hope you weren't, you know, looking at your please tell me people aren't this dense. You know what I mean? Like, if they're looking at their PvP menu and they're like, oh, where's my rarities? Where did my rarities go? And then they just switch back to PvE. Oh, all my stuff is back. And then, you know, then they resend their negative review on Saber or whatever. But yeah, I guess this is worth trying. Some people have said that, you know, like, you know, they verified their files and it hasn't worked. But I mean, regardless, if there's anything you can trial and error, this is at least worth it, I guess. You really are just switching your modes. Restored along with all armors. Oh, okay. Well, he does have all my progress, levels, perks, trees. Yeah, I don't know. He did detail it out, what exactly he was losing. And, I don't know, levels, perks, armors. Like, yeah, especially armors. Armors would be, you know, static between PvP and PvE. You would have the same armors. All right, well, at least we found at least one guy with some sort of temporary solution, or potentially a temporary solution. But yeah, regardless, definitely let me know in the comments if you guys are experiencing this bug, dude, because this sounds extremely scary.